So it's great to see that Microsoft have announced org-wide teams in the Microsoft Teams platform. I see these as targeted initially at more small to medium-sized organizations that might not be at the size or the inflection point where disseminating information via Yammer makes more sense. We do have plenty of mid-sized customers where Teams is definitely on the agenda, but Yammer is not in their environment today. This just provides another tool in our arsenal, something that we can provide our customers that enables additional capability within the Microsoft Teams product without the customer having to move outside of that platform. Definitely see this as a plus for disseminating information like company-wide information around let's see, onboarding information or how-to information or what our policies are, any type of information that you would often find in a company-wide global wiki. So yeah, real fan of Microsoft making this capability available, and I expect a lot of customers will be using it.
Org-wide teams, let's think about this. Is it a good idea? So if we think org-wide teams, I'm thinking of a team where everyone in my company is going to be a member, right? So imagine the noise. I think org-wide teams would be fantastic in my company because let me just think about it. It's just me and a sheep, right? So that's not going to be that noisy. I would much rather have gone and said, let's update the templates for Teams and bring in a channel specifically that links to communication from the org level. So something that pushes through from the SharePoint news sites or something by default. I'm already doing that by adding the intranet tab as a tab on the general channel by default, but org-wide, nope. We've got too much work to deal with and too much noise going on to now still have a big team like that where things can get a little bit crazy. So let's see how it goes. Maybe I'm just a bit of a pessimist, but I honestly don't think it's a good idea. Let's chat soon.
Every company should have an all-org team, maybe even more than one. As companies continue to mature digitally, communication through Teams will grow as an important communications channel. An all-org team provides for top-down communication, the ability to share files that apply company-wide, and for special interest groups or channels that can leverage participants from the entire company. For teams of different sizes, the formality of the conversation and the level of chat-back, communication, and message replies will differ. Varying levels of governance and guidance from team keepers can be allowed. One of the first benefits of an all-org team at the company level that one of my clients appreciated was that a new employee no longer must confront an empty list of teams. Nothing is more depressing than opening a Microsoft Teams window, clicking on that symbol of inclusion which is labeled Teams, and only seeing cold, dead, white, empty pixels. Or dark gray, of course, if you're using the dark theme. And think about this. An all-org team can apply to every manager, every director, every department head, every vice president, every chief of staff, and the entire company. Teams come in different shapes and sizes, they work in different ways, and they grow, adjust, and change as the need arises.
Hello everyone, in Regarding 365 land. I'm going old school, no blurred background, just straight video and straight opinion on these org-wide Teams groups. Is it good? Well, I can tell you this. I got an organization of 65,000 people and definitely wouldn't want to do that for that large of an organization. Very glad that Microsoft put in the 1,000 user limit there. Hopefully that is good practical advice for them to saying, hey, this is kind of where you should be at with this. So for small and medium-sized businesses, should you do it? If you are born digital, absolutely go for it. See if it works. Try to have one tool at your disposal as opposed to two. That's going to help out your end users. It's going to make things clear. You won't have to get into the what do I use when debate. Check out my blog post on that if you got questions on it. But also, you may want to forego traditional intranet pages, and you might just be able to do things through posts and wikis and notes and associated SharePoint sites, all associated with your Teams channel. So if you're born digital and you're small, go for it.
So Teams now supports up to 1,000 people in an organisation being part of an organisation-wide team. This is a fantastic thing because, for starters, it reduces our what to use when discussions. As Skype for Business transitions over to Teams, now all of a sudden so you can with Yammer as well. But the reality is this is only for organisations that have under 1,000 staff. So it's a start that will increase to 2,500, then 5,000, probably go from there. The reality is if you've got a really active Yammer network, you're not going to switch. The tool already works. There's no point switching. If you haven't deployed Yammer yet, or if you have but it's really not that active, absolutely run to Teams, because Teams gives you significantly more control and features than Yammer does. It reduces that whole what to use when tool. You know what? Why don't you create a team called Yammer, give it the same logo, and then you don't have to change your conversation. You can still say, it's in Yammer, it's just not in the tool anymore. The reality is I think this is a very welcome addition. I personally welcome it. I've been frustrated with the speed at which Yammer has iterated functionality. So yeah, I think if you're an SMB or even small mid-sized organisation, absolutely go straight to Teams. Do not turn back. Go straight past, go collect your $200 and enjoy what Teams has to offer.
So this is my 60-second take on organisation-wide teams. So organisation-wide teams are the latest shiny new thing from Microsoft Teams, but it won't be shiny and new for long, as the Teams team are churning out new hit after new hit. For me, a Teams team that is an org-wide team. I mean, how many teams does it take to describe a team? Fits in well with the positioning of Teams as a single pane of glass for your working day. What will delight users is that you do not need to change tools to get the organisation-wide view or contribute to a wider conversation. Teams is so much more than a chat-based workspace. Boy, do they get the marketing strapline wrong. Your social feed is probably full of comments about what does this mean for Yammer. Yes, it does disrupt the positioning of Yammer, but that's okay, as disruption should spur both products on to be the best that they can. And if you do not use Yammer or are ambivalent to the argument, then that's okay too. The key message you should take away from this is that whatever your approach to connecting your organisation is the one that works for your organisation, your people and your culture that counts. Please don't see this as a versus question or a which tool and when. See it simply as another tool in the box you can pick from.
Good morning, this is Alistair as a service Pugin. No, that's Daryl as a service. My name is Alistair Pugin and I've been asked to comment about org-wide teams that was released a few days ago, and I've got about 3 seconds left. So it's a great thing for under 1,000 users. Not too sure how the politics will fall going forward with Yammer being the inner outer in-betweener, not so very few usage for these sort of things, because yes, Yammer has been the platform of choice for getting org-wide information out. So yes, I see it as another nail in Yammer's coffin, and I'm not too sure where Microsoft is going with this. But from a Teams perspective, it's great to see that we can now disseminate org-wide information across the board.
So you've got a single org now coming in Teams, which is for less than 1,000 users. You can have the same as you can have in Yammer. So it's now Yammer or Teams. You decide.